T for time. All right, guys. Welcome back to Timeout. Kira and I are back in LA. Another long weekend. We did the show. We did all the things. We'll get into that more on the morning after. But we did have quite a long journey back yesterday. Why did we sit on the runway for so long?
Oh, I think there was just a plane at our gate.
Okay, well, that was annoying. We finally landed at LA, and then we sat for another 30 minutes. Although I was in the middle of fire country, so I wasn't mad about it. Guys, such a good show. If you're not watching it, you should start. Okay, so football. Wow, let's talk about it. It's wild right now. And I don't know if this is like every season, but I feel like this season's more wild than most.
We were saying it's any team season.
Yes, like obviously Kansas City is still dominating, but like everyone else, it's kind of like a toss-up right now. I did see that the Bills lost to the Ravens last night. The Jets lost to the Broncos. We lost to the Bears. Trying to think what else happened. There was the horrific injury with the Denver Broncos with Tyler, I think it's Batty. So praying for his family. Also, I know that the Chiefs lost a receiver to a torn ACL. I mean, it's just getting a little crazy with all these injuries happening. So just praying for everyone to stay safe and also for those who have gotten injured to just heal efficiently before quickly. I think, in the NFL, with these players, we forget that they're human and we try to rush them back. And I just don't think that's the right thing to do. So I want them to heal efficiently and also, as quickly as that can happen. Mm-hmm. But moving on, obviously our game, that sucked. It just was one of those games. To be honest, it was crazy because I thought we controlled the game. We were moving the ball and, I don't know. It just was one of those crazy things. But I will say one thing. It took me back. Being back in Chicago took me back for a lot of reasons. One, because they used to be in our division. So, I've always liked Chicago. I will say they were nicer to us yesterday than they are to Detroit fans.
Oh yeah.
Because they're rivals. So I was going into Chicago thinking I was going to get the Chicago fans that are the against the Detroit Lions fans, and we didn't get that. Everyone was very kind, and not saying that, but it's football is football, and we're gonna get into some game day etiquette in a second too, because I've noticed a lot. But one of the things that really took me back is the first three series that the Bears had, they were 3-and-out, I believe. And all of a sudden, the booing starts from their home crowd.
Ooh.
And it really took me back. And I truly believe, they were booing the whole situation, whether it was the team, the coaches, it doesn't matter. But I do know when Matthew was in that position and he was a rookie and then a second year and he got injured his first 2 years and then, third year, whatever, he would get booed. And whether it was the team or the coaches, it felt very heavy on his shoulders. So I looked at Kiera and I was like, I hate that. Yeah. I hate that they're doing that. And I know that I've said too that I kind of miss the booing because it means they care. And I mentioned that to you too. Mm-hmm. I was like, they care so much. And that is why they're so frustrated. They're booing. But going to the family side of it, to the person who is down there and who is carrying the load on their shoulders of that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And I looked at Kara, I was like, I feel horrible for him. I feel horrible for his family right now. I hate that feeling.
And you were like, I need to be rooting just for the Rams right now and not so worried about the QB.
Right? And I was like, turns out I shouldn't have worried, but
yeah.
But I literally said that. I was like, nope, I can't worry about that right now. I will worry about him after this game. Right now I need to worry about our team and our win. Turns out, should have listened to myself even more. But it is such an interesting dynamic. You go to these markets where sports is everything. Mm-hmm. And it's the Detroits, it's the Chicagos, it's Green Bay with just football. It's the Bostons. Mm-hmm. Sports are everything to this city. And we talk about it a lot here. There's a lot going on here. Sports is not that cool here. I mean, the Dodgers and the Lakers, but they've been here for a while, and it's tough when there's so much to do. But in these cities where it's everything, these fans get so caught just so proud and so into their teams that when they're not doing well, it's hard for them not to just do nothing. They just want to boo their own team. And as much as it sucks, I like want Caleb Williams to know if it happens, because I feel like it is gonna it just happens. It happens to every team, I feel like, besides the teams that don't have a ton of fans that don't really understand what's going on. But it is because they care. They want you to be good, but it does suck feeling like an entire city is down on you and against you, because my husband has been there. And honestly, they are doing their fucking best. It's not like they want to not get a first down, because they do.
When do you think is the last time Matthew was booed like that? Like what year?
Wow. I don't know. That's a really good question. Well, COVID was the last year we were in Detroit. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, I don't think. But I think when they're younger, they take it more hard. Like it's hard for them. But Matthew now, I feel like if he got booed, he'd be like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
I think he'd play harder.
Oh, well, yeah, he does that. But I'm like, if his own fans were booing him, you know, it's like, that's different than if the away crowd's booing you. But I would want to hold Caleb Williams' family's hands in those moments and just be like, they care. And that guy's going to be so good. He's got to have some years under his belt. Like, these quarterbacks, you throw them in their first year, there's going to be an adjustment period. You're going from college football to the NFL. Ooh, we did a college football thing this weekend, and it was so fun.
Ooh, that was so much fun.
Highline Pizza Bar in Chicago. If you are a Georgia fan, you should be going there every game. It is incredible. And the food was good.
The food was great.
Yes.
It was really spicy.
Yes, that one pizza was spicy. But other than that, it was incredible. And I will say, I love that Hank and Kira got a little taste of Georgia football before we go to our Athens show. It was, gosh, that was so fun. It felt so good being back. It felt like I was back home. I don't know. It just felt good.
It was electric. Oh, and Judge was there. We had some of Hank's family there. And Liz Jones was there.
Yes. And that was her. She was like, what is going on? Liz Jones, some of you, if you are from Detroit, you might remember Christian Jones was a linebacker for Detroit for a while, and that is her husband. We're still very close. I freaking love her so much. But she was like, is this a joke? Y'all are down 30.
She's like, why are you barking? Nothing's happening.
Still barking. It's just what we do. Turns out they came back. They almost freaking won it. But anyways, so with this episode, I do want to get into game day etiquette.
Right. There were a lot of little things that happened on Sunday that kind of made both of us, turn our head and be like,
Interesting.
Yes.
The first being the guy behind us.
Oof.
I mean, listen, I am all for you rooting for your team and you talking football if you know what you're talking about. But I'm saying Caleb would pitch the ball to the running back, and the running back would have a loss of yardage. And he'd be like, oh, that's a nice pitch. Did you see that pitch? That was just such a good pitch. And I was like, what is happening? And then, the comments he was making, it was something with a penalty that, oh gosh, I wish I remember.
Which there were a ton of flags called.
Oh my God, it never ended. And Matthew didn't get one roughing the passer call.
Nope. Of all those flags that were called that whole game.
Not one roughing the passer. And he got his head torn off twice. But I will say one thing about, and I think we said this, we did a little live, Kiera and I, on the way to the airport yesterday, because it took us forever to get to the airport in Chicago. And we talked about how Matthew's known for his toughness around this league. And I was like, do you think that's why he doesn't get calls?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think the rest are like, yeah, you're right. I don't know. It has become a running joke in our house that he does not get calls. And you know what? He could definitely say something. He could pitch a fit on the field like you see some of these quarterbacks do. And I'm not saying he will never do that, because there are times where you have to stand your ground and be like, fucking make the call. But he's always just get up, next play. Get up, next play. Again, it's what I love about him, but I'm also like, I would lose my mind. I am so excited about this new sponsor and to share with you guys an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness. And what is that? It is C15. C15 is the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years. And get this, y'all, studies have confirmed that it's 3 times better, broader, and safer than omega 3. So fatty 15 has 3 times more cellular benefits than omega 3 or fish oil. It is made from patented, pure, and oxidation-resistant C15 powder derived from plants, so it's vegan-friendly, free of flavors. It's actually, C15 is the only ingredient in fatty 15. It is 100% pure. It works in multiple ways. It repairs age-related damage to cells, protects them from future breakdown, boosts mitochondrial energy output, and activates pathways in the body that help regulate our sleep, mood, and natural repair mechanisms that support our overall health. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replace your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/morning and using the code morning at checkout. Again, that's fatty15.com/morning and using the code morning at checkout. Speaking of fan day etiquette, the Detroit, no, it wasn't the Detroit game, it was Arizona game. No, it was Detroit game where the guy was standing and yelling at Matthew about me. Did we talk about this?
No, we didn't talk about this.
So in Detroit, there was a guy sitting 6 rows in front of me, yelling at Matthew, yelling at the team, saying things about like Kyron's mom.
Oh, the front row guy?
The front row guy.
Oh, that was like his life's mission. You could tell he comes to every game and does the same thing.
And listen, I'm not a big fan of that fan etiquette. I think that's obnoxious, but he paid for that seat. He's allowed to say what he wants as long as it's not too, I guess, vulgar or demeaning to these players. I honestly don't know what gets you kicked out anymore.
I don't know either. I thought he was really riding the line there.
He was. And I do think there was a situation where they were thinking about getting him removed. But the players don't want that either because it also gives like that fan satisfaction. But it's also like, this is football. The fans are in it. It's fine. But where is the line drawn? We don't know. We really don't know. Like, there's no line anymore. I feel like fans cross lines that are insane.
Absolutely. And the guy,
every sport. This is every sport.
Definitely.
We're saying things that we shouldn't be saying and not expecting a response back or not expecting to get our asses kicked. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't say just because you paid the money doesn't mean you can't get your ass kicked.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, not that
timeout.
Yeah, that might be a timeout, but that's life. Like, that's not even fan. That's like, you can't expect to do things and not have consequences if you're doing things like harsh and mean and whatever. Anyway,
it's like IRL keyboard warriors. It's like, okay, no one can come after you, so this is not that impressive to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
They can't do, what are they going to do, jump on you from the field? No, they're not going to do that because then it's their fault that they overreacted to something. So no, they're not going to do that. So you have that protection of like the wall, and this guy had that protection, and he's saying things. So he scores that touchdown like the third or the fourth quarter, and he runs over, and the guy is still chirping, whatever. And so finally he's like, "Hey, she's right fucking behind you," and the guy turns around. And I catch his eye and he turns back around. And I was like, love my husband, but isn't this interesting? He was like, listen, say whatever you want to me. You can literally say I have a big head, I'm fat, I am horrible at football, I'm a dumbass, I don't care. But you start talking about my wife or my kids, I'm going to have a problem with it. And I was like, isn't that interesting? Does that sound familiar? So there you go. Anyways, fan day etiquette. Yeah.
I was literally sitting
you
right
were
next
right next
to
to me.
I was out to lunch.
And I honestly, did I not even tell you that story?
No.
Oh, it's such a good story.
I mean, I probably would have given you a timeout if you had talked about it like the next morning, but now we have like a week to breathe about it.
Yeah, who cares? I mean, listen, fans are fans, players are players. There's going to be interactions, and that's fine. But you just have to be, as a fan, you have to understand, like, you give, you might get. And that's That is what it is. But also fans fighting outside of games. Come on.
I
Or
know.
inside of games, who cares? This is a football game. Who gives a shit? Is your fantasy team losing? I'm so sorry, but it's fake. That is fake. Also, I'm sorry, I hate fantasy. But also like guys, we are we have so much more going on in this world than fighting over a football game.
Yeah.
And maybe they're fighting over like the disrespect that they're receiving from a other fan. Just move on.
I think
You'll never see
people
these people again.
I know, and I really do think it's people like projecting. I really feel like with entertainment things, it never is the entertainment thing. It's what's happening at home. What are you upset about globally? And then you just tell yourself it's about football, and you let it loose.
I agree. I do think people are like angry about a lot of other things, and this is just like the easiest way to get it out
Absolutely.
at a sporting event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but if you do that, you could be kicked out forever.
I know. But there are a lot of people outside the games that are really fun to meet. Like, we met someone who knows Paige and Matthew's dad.
That was crazy. He like worked with Matthew's dad or something, like
Yeah.
at FSU. That was wild.
That was really wild.
Also, I love that I'm talking about fan day etiquette and I threw a pretzel at someone. So,
you know, we've all had our days.
I'm like, damn, these fans need to relax. And here I am, I'm like, screw you.
I mean,
pretzels.
honestly, like I flipped off someone yesterday because
Oh, really?
like Matthew and like you, if someone talks about someone I love, I'm gonna react. And I'm not a very reactive person at all. I'm a very calm person. But someone was talking shit about
was that
about you
one of the
guys.
kid behind us? Yeah.
And I just kind of was like, you know, did that little scratch of the head thing with the one finger.
I know. Paige and Matthew's sister was with us, and Paige had a second to that, like, you know, and me being probably the most reactive out of everybody was like, all right, everyone needs to calm down.
I know. You're like, don't react.
Don't react to him, because the minute you do react, it gets worse.
Yeah, it's true.
And
Yes,
also, I didn't want to get kicked out of another stadium and then have to take another etiquette class. So here we are.
You want to take an etiquette class?
No, I haven't taken it, but for San Fran. But anyways, I should probably take it, and then I can tell you guys about it. One thing I will say, and this is what I think everyone will appreciate. They probably don't care about the fighting and the shit in the stands when it comes to etiquette. But here is one thing I would like to say. If you are coming back from a bathroom, or you are coming back with a food and drink, you're coming down, you have to scoot into your row. If there is a play happening, or a play literally he's about to snap the ball, don't ask everyone to get up and get in their way. Just wait right there, sit on the stairs for a second, wait till the play is over, and then move in. It drives me crazy. It happened yesterday, and this woman, it was like probably third, it was Matthew, it was third and something, and this woman is like, hey, do you guys mind? And he just snapped the ball, and I was like, I'm not moving. No. You can wait a second. Like,
yeah,
there is an etiquette to people are there to watch the game, and there is a lot of ups and downs in these rows. Like, you got to get up, you got to sit down. You got to get up, you got to sit down. So with that being said, like, just wait. Just wait until the play is over. A play takes at most 10 seconds.
Yeah.
At most.
I have a question for you. Have you noticed a difference between the way fans behave in those seats that we were in, which were on the 50 front row, versus like in the nosebleeds or in the mix? Because sometimes when I'm in really expensive seats, I notice that fans might even have like less etiquette.
Oh,
because they can just afford to be there at any point in time, and so they're not really like bleeding for their team.
Yes, that's actually a very good question, and this is gonna sound really, really bad, but I haven't been in the nosebleeds in a while. But I will say, I do believe that people who are coming to these games and who are sitting out there are huge fans, and they have a water bottle to pee in. They ain't getting up.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a good question. I don't really know, because I haven't, but there is just a little bit of like
apathy.
Yeah.
In the really expensive seats or in the suites, especially, you know, at these big games at SoFi. Sometimes people are there for work.
Yeah.
You know, it's a networking opportunity. And then I've noticed if I'm in the nosebleeds or if I'm really just in the mix, fans are really, the season ticket holders are really there to support.
Yeah, for sure. And I also think this is another thing, and this is something for me, fan etiquette for me. I don't think this would bother anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But during a game, if I am not talking to you, don't sit there and ask me questions. I don't want to
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Like I'm either so nervous I can't talk or anxious, or I don't feel great. Or the game's going shitty and I don't want to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I love, like, there have been moments, a lot of moments recently that I'm sitting next to someone and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. And I won't answer. They'll ask me a question and I will not answer.
I know. I think people think they need to like fill the space. They're
Yes,
like
if shit's
grateful
going.
to be there with you. And so they're
True.
like, and that's, but I totally get it. That's why like I like sitting next to you because I'm so happy to sit there and not say
I know
anything.
you don't say a word unless I'm like, Kira. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, you're
Yeah,
still there.
You're still there. No, especially on, I mean, if you're sitting, I don't know how many of you will be in this situation ever, but if you're sitting next to a family member of one of the players, don't talk when they're playing.
Oh my gosh.
Because this is a safety thing. They are watching to make sure that their loved one is not about to get hurt.
Yeah.
And if they do get hurt, they want to see exactly how
What
they got hurt.
happened. Yeah.
And if they're the away team, that means that the screen up there, it's not going to show the replay of them getting hurt.
No.
It's going to be focused on the home team.
Yeah.
So like we'll be sitting there and we'll have to be texting like someone who's watching at home if we want to see something back again.
Yeah. We mentioned that, like, being at these games, it's hard because we don't get the instant replays and we don't get, if someone goes down, we don't know what happened, which is kind of why I don't like going to away games, because I like to see what's happening. But it is just, it's an interesting dynamic when you do know someone who has a loved one out there. And I get why people would be like, I also like, oh, she's really upset about this game. Like, let me talk to her. Let me bring
Distract
her. Yes,
her.
let me bring her joy. And I'm like, that's not what I want.
Yeah, that's not it.
I just need to sit in my thoughts because nothing can make you feel better in those moments.
Yeah.
It can't.
Yeah.
All right. Another thing, like, Chicago in general is incredible. We're going to move on from that, but
Yeah.
Chicago in general is incredible. We were walking out, people are tailgating. It reminded me very much of the South in a way, like college football games. And I don't know if it's because Chicago plays at noon,
Yeah,
but like,
maybe.
I loved that the parking lot was full when we were leaving, and we left late. Of people tailgating and just having a good
Yeah,
time.
they were grilling. Everyone was throwing a football around.
Oh my God, and we were so hungry.
It smelled so good.
Oh my God. And we did get offered food because I was like, dang, that looks good. And
You thought about it.
I did think I almost took a burger off of them. But and these nice Chicago fans were like, do you want some food? I was like, oh my God, that sounds great. Also, a great, yes.
I love this.
This is so great. I told Matthew this story this morning.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah. So we're walking through. We're walking through this the parking lot, and I have a Stafford shirt on that's like a baseball jersey that's orange and blue, not Bear orange and blue, more like Florida orange and blue. And it has 9 on the back. And this guy walks past us. He's like, "Oh, I like that jersey," and I was like, "Thank you." And he's like, "Oh, number 9." And keeps like, "I'll give you that 6." And I was like, I keep walking, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm going, what does that mean? And I go, I look here. I was like, oh my God. I go, does that mean what I think it means? And you were like, yeah. I go, I looked at it, I go, I still got it. Guys.
Oh,
listen,
you were riding cloud nine after that.
I was so happy. I don't remember the last time I've gotten hit. It wasn't even a hit on it. It was like a drunk fan. He's probably like 25.
It was a cat call probably, but
yeah, no. And Kira was like, you should just walk by a construction site. I was like, well, but like, I don't know. I felt really good. And I told Matthew that this morning. I was like, still got it, babe. And he just looked at me and shook his head. He was like, oh my God, what am I going to do with you? It's like, I don't know. I was like, yes, I still got it. And again, he probably didn't even see my face, but he was just like, cool jersey. And just probably being like, an ass after that. But anyways, that was great. And then wanted to give a shout out real quick. I know we lost that game, but Matthew moved into the top 10 all time in passing yards. And passing yards, which is a stat that is really, really cool to have. And although he would have much rather had the win, and you ask him these things, and it is very truthful. Like he could care less about those stats. Um, he just wants another ring. So to get another ring, you got to win games. And that's the case. And I will as we said, this season seems like it's kind of all up in the air. Um, I love that. That's good for us because we need to, we have a lot of pieces missing, but I'm loving how many people are stepping up in there as they're absent. Um, these guys are working hard, and you can see the will and the want in these guys to get it done. But you know what? It's NFL football, and it's hard. And everyone's the best of the best on these fields, and it's anyone's game any day, as we have seen. So it's another road. We got Green Bay coming up, and I know all you Lions fans are hoping we beat Green Bay. I'm sorry we didn't beat Chicago, but it is what it is. We need this game against Green Bay, and then we go into the bye. And again, you have to get hot in the NFL at the right time, and I'm hoping that will be us. Get healthy, get everyone back, and take off. So I just want Matthew to stay healthy until then because he's battered and bruised right now. He got hit decent amount late that game, and it's showing a little bit. He's just a little tough to get up this morning. The girls even were like, "Daddy, you okay?" Just because he's just it's just he's sore. He's sore. But yeah, so that is okay, real quick. X's and O's. It's going to be a quick one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, quick one because you know what? This is going to be a quick episode. Going for two. Like we were sitting there, Rams went for two to try and tie it up. We didn't get it. So going for two, if you score a touchdown, you get how many points?
6.
Well done. And then you get a point for a field goal. Now, if you want 2 points, you can get 2 points, but you can't kick a field goal for it. You get it on the 10, the 5.
I think it's 5, but I turned to Kelly and I said, I think we should cover this because I didn't know what the strategy is, but behind deciding to do that or not.
So here's what teams do. A lot of teams will go for 2 to tie it. A lot of teams will, at end of games, if they are feeling good about it, if they're at an away stadium and they score a touchdown and a field goal will tie it or 2 will win it, some teams will go for 2 and go for the win. Now, if they don't get it, they lose. So it is a gamble, but say you're at an away stadium and your guys are tired and you just know that, and if you go into overtime, it could be tough. Some coaches will opt to go for 2. There's also the scenario that if a team is up by 2 if they kick a field goal, they would only be up by 2. Well, they might want to go for 2 to get you up by 3 because that's in case the other team goes down and scores a field goal, you're tied.
Yeah.
So there's different reasons as to why people will go for 2. I love a 2-point conversion. I hate that we didn't get it yesterday. I wish we did it all the time, but it's gambling.
I feel like we don't do it often.
Well, no, we need a reason to do it, and that's most teams. Most teams need a reason to go for a 2-point conversion. Do you know the other play that gets you 2 points?
The other play that gets you 2 points.
The other thing that can get you 2 points on a field.
No.
A safety.
Okay, explain this.
Okay. Well, this is good because it's defense and offense. So, you are backed up. We were backed up. They had an incredible punter.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, punted the fuck out of that ball. Holy hell.
Oh, my God.
It was insane.
The whole stadium was like, oh.
Our returner did not backpedal. He ran backward. He turned and ran because the ball was punted so far.
Torrey Taylor is the punter's name.
For the Bears.
Yeah, I looked him up because I was just like, what? Who is this guy?
Very, very, very talented. Anyways, he pinned us very close to our end zone, I think 2 or 3 times. Very well done. And let's say they snap the ball to Matthew and he gets sacked in the end zone, that is a safety.
Okay.
That means the team that was on defense gets 2 points and they get the ball.
Oh my goodness.
So we have to kick it off to them. Or they just get it. I probably need to look that up. No, we kick it off to them. So that happens. If there is a penalty in the end zone, say an O lineman held, so Matthew wouldn't get sacked, that is a safety. So a penalty in the end zone, safety. And all of these gives you 2 points and the ball back. So it's honestly, it's a huge swing in a game. Because not only are you getting points on the board as a defense, you are also giving your offense the ball again. So those are the two scenarios where you can get 2 points in a game. So now you know that. And
did you guys catch during the Rams-Bears games yesterday, did you see the thing that Kelly explained the week prior about not reestablishing yourself and losing the ball, so it's not a catch? It was great.
It wasn't an interception, thank God.
Yeah.
But you know what my dad texted me? I was like, Dad. He texted me after that because he was like, my dad, he obviously is watching. And yes, the defender did not it doesn't matter if it's offense or defense. If you don't reestablish yourself before being the first one to touch that ball, it's an incomplete pass. So my dad texted me, he was like, oh, what a break. I said, a break? It's the fucking rules, Dad. It's not a break. Like, if they didn't call it, that would be very poor refereeing. It's not a break. It like pissed me off because, it would have been a pick for Matthew and I'm very defensive and all the things. My brother's team lost again last night too, or yesterday. They're having a tough go at it. Tough go. The Jags.
Oh, this season is interesting.
Season's not fun so far, but you know what? It's okay because we got to get hot. And that's what all that matters is when you can get hot and start rolling. It's what happened last year with us. We got hot at the end and then we made it to the playoffs after being 3-6. So we don't want to have to do that because poor Matt. I mean, like that.
I know.
Oof.
Uphill battle.
Oh my God. I look back at that and like what he did and put on himself. It was a lot. So I don't want him to have to do that. But it is what it is. It's football. It's the game he loves. It's the game we all love to watch. If you're going to the game, think about the fan etiquette. Just for everyone around you. It's more fun when everyone has fun, regardless of what team you're cheering for. At the end of the day, it's just that. You're just there cheering on a football team. And it doesn't need to get so serious. And I'm talking to myself too. It's fine. Well, I'm talking to everybody, including me. I feel like I've gotten way better, way calmer. I don't really react anymore because why?
Yeah.
There's no really point to.
Yeah.
So, maybe just like go in, have fun. You paid for tickets. Go enjoy it.
Take an edible. Relax.
Take an Eddie, that really helps. Nothing will bother you, I promise. Okay. All right. With that, we are going to close this out. We will be praying for everyone in their, if they were injured and their families, and also praying for next week that there are no serious injuries as well. And with that, time in and Rayuta.